All right, Shalom. I want to start by saying, call law, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love always to all the I can continue to preach His truth and all truth sincerity. Okay, so I came across, actually, my name is Ali Shai, and I came across this morning, early this morning. I woke up a little early because, due to the plantation I work, I'll be waking up dumb early, so I'm used to waking up early. So I woke up early, so it probably was around like 5-ish in the morning, 5-ish, 6-ish maybe, roughly. And it was I'm gonna post a video I came across on TikTok on my channel, Lord willing, after I'm done with this. But it was talking about basically this Edomite was talking about how the reason why, well, I don't want to say that's the whole reason, but like it's alleged that the reason why the Secretary of Defense or Secretary of War, I think Pete Hegseth, called this meeting for all the generals that's to take place this week, which I believe this Tuesday, is because China might be possibly invading Taiwan soon. And so there, and not just that, other things they got to discuss too. That's just one thing. That's just one thing. It's a bunch of things going on right now, and you got to remember, China and Russia have been real buddy lately. They've been having meetings. They've been linking up, having other countries link up. So what you think they've been talking about? Especially that meeting that they just had a couple of weeks ago. So, they're discussing war just like America, NATO, and all these other countries discussing war because the Lord got the spirit of war out there. So all these moves, all these meetings is all geared towards what? World War III. And there's nothing they can do. That's why they're just preparing for it, because clearly it's not going to stop. So this is from AP News, and it says Russia is helping China to prepare for a potential invasion of Taiwan, Defense Institute says. So it says Russia is selling military equipment and technology to China that can help Beijing prepare an airborne invasion of Taiwan, according to an analyst of leaked Russian documents by a UK-based defense and security forum. So everybody's spying on each other. But remember, China said within the next couple of years, they're more likely definitely going to invade Taiwan. So I believe I heard like 2026, 2027. And what year are we in now? We're about to be in 2026, because 2025 is damn near over in a couple months. It's going to be over in a couple months. All right. It said the Royal United Services Institute analyst is based on around 800 pages of documents, including contracts and lists of equipment to be supplied by Moscow to Beijing from the Black Moon hacktivist group, which previously published some of the documents online. So they hacking these niggas. It does not identify its members, but describes itself in a manifesto as opposed to governments that carry out aggressive foreign policy. The authors of the RUSI report shared some of the documents with the Associated Press. That's what AP stands for, Associated Press. And say I forgot what it stood for a minute. It says Associated Press, and say they appear to be genuine, although parts of the documents may have been omitted or altered. AP is unable to independently verify their authenticity. But hold up. Let's talk about, well, isn't China and Russia in league with each other already? Then they say that they will help each other militarily in that pact, I believe, which was the last June. Because I remember when I think it was China and Russia when they made that pact. I wasn't even living at the crib I'm at now, and I've been living here for like a year and some change. Oh, over a year and some change. It says the mix of completed and apparent draft Russian documents reference meetings between Chinese and Russian delegations, including visits to Moscow and payment. So they've seen that they've made payments to each other. And delivery timelines for high-altitude parachute systems and amphibious assault vehicles. They suggest that Russia has begun work on a product to be delivered, but don't contain direct evidence from the Chinese side that Beijing has paid any money or received any equipment. Whatever. Either way, we know it's up. It says the authors argue the equipment could be used to invade Taiwan. Under President Xi Jinping, China has embarked upon a broad modernization program of its armed forces with the goal of transforming it into a world-class military by 2050. Now, we hoping YAHAWASHI comes way before no freaking 2050. That's 25 years from now. That means that a lot of these presidents will be dead, like of a natural life. Because I know Putin. I think Putin is like 70. I don't know how old Xi Jinping is, but he looks like he could be. He definitely past his 50s. So more likely he's in his mid to late 60s or even older than that. So you talk about 25 years from now, with all of this, they're bringing out the beast system, the MOTB. You think we got that much longer? Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI forbid. But this is just these motherfuckers thinking that they're going to be around like this forever and in this kind of position forever. They think that, like, these other nations aside from Esau, like Moab, Ammon, all these other nations, they think, especially these superpowers, they think that they're just going to be around in this position they in forever. Because, you know, China got the heavy production. They the next country that will appear that will be next in line to rule. But it's not. It says high-ranking U.S. officials have suggested Xi order his military to be prepared for a possible invasion of Taiwan as early as 2027. Beijing claims a self-governing democracy is rightfully a part of China and has not ruled out seizing the island by force. And they've been talking about invading Taiwan for a minute. And remember, Trump said if China does do that, America is gonna automatically step in. So that's three war fronts with three superpowers America's with right now. You got the whole thing going on Russia and Ukraine. You got the whole thing going on with the China and Taiwan, and you got the whole thing in the Middle East with the small hats and the Palestinians and all that. Now, mind you, America itself is already fighting against Yemen over there in the Red Sea with the group Hezbollah and all that. You can't rule that. So remember, it's just a bunch of skirmishes, it's wars and rumors of wars happening, just like YAHAWASHI said. YAHAWASHI said you should hear wars and rumors of wars. These are wars and rumors of wars. Because Russia and Ukraine are at war. The small hats in Palestine and Gaza, all of them, they're at war. America's at war. You got whole shit going on in Pakistan and India. That shit hasn't been resolved. Whatever's going on in Africa, that shit ain't been resolved. You got civil unrest everywhere. Brother just sent me a video of South Korea out here. Basically, is like a picture of Bibi, and they were just throwing, basically disrespect, basically saying that they disdain. What did the scripture say? It said you should be despised. You should be despised throughout the earth. Esau, and then the chief. Who's the chief of Esau? Amalek. That's what. And you got America thinking that they the big bad Roman army that they come from, that they spawn from. But here it is. You got these other superpowers. You got the weak saying that they are strong. You have China. You have North Korea. You have Pakistan. You have India. You have Russia. It's not just America the main superpower. Everybody got nukes. Everybody got artillery. Everybody got the missiles now. And America's being spread thin. And then you told you with China alone, that would take a lot of America's resources. So China and then you got Russia, the whole thing with the drones violating all these NATO countries. What do you think that's about? These are all planned events. They're not just moving on a whim. These are things that they plan. We're gonna do this here. We're gonna do this now. We're gonna do this then. And that's why now you have Hegseth calling this meeting of all the U.S. generals and admirals to come over to Virginia or whatever at a Marine Corps base to hash out what's going to be done with all of what's going on. They might have a draft soon. Who knows? It says the documents don't mention Taiwan directly, but the analysts by the London-based institute suggest the deal would help China gain advanced parachuting capabilities that it would need to mount an invasion, potentially speeding up a timeline. Now remember, Taiwan, I've been seeing Taiwan, they've been getting busy too. They've been getting things from America. They've been gathering arms. That prepare ye war, ye Gentiles. That's what the Lord has them doing. The Lord is, I say it time and time again, the Lord is mustering the host of the battle. And nobody can stop it. Remember, this is the prophecy. This is the will of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, the one true living God who has control over all these nations. The Lord said, hold up, let's get that real quick. So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 1, and it reads, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will." You don't have no other guys saying that they got control over the king's heart. And you read that in NLT, Proverbs 21 and 1, it says, "The king's heart is like a stream of water directed by the Lord. He guides it." Who is he? The Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI guides it wherever he pleases. So these nations talk about, yeah, we want peace talks, we want this, that, and the third, but what are your actions saying? What is the Lord making you do? What is the Lord telling Trump? What is the Lord making Trump do? What is the Lord making Putin do? What is the Lord making Xi Jinping do? What is the Lord making Kim Jong-un do? What is the Lord having the Ayatollah of Iran do? He's having to do his will. Allah has no will. Buddha has no will. It's the will of the one true living God. Because if all the nations talk about they want peace, why do your actions not say otherwise? Hell, you already got the nations at war. So it's not like it's war about to start. Remember, the Lord said wars and rumors of wars. Both. It's wars going on and rumors of wars. And that war with Russia, Ukraine, when next February comes, it's going to make it 4 years. When October comes of this year, it's going to make what, 2 years for the small hats and Gaza and all that. And it's been ongoing every day. Now, you had a couple little ceasefire shits, this, that, and there. But for the most part, the war has been ongoing every day. So, yeah, it says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will." Who controls the water also? YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. For what? For all, the Lord said what? For all the earth is mine. For all the earth is mine. Our God said that, and our God is proving it. And not just saying it, the Lord shows and proves that he is the one that's controlling the minds of the king. Because they say one thing, but they do otherwise. So we'll go back to that article. It says, "It's not certain that China has decided to invade Taiwan, but access to Russian equipment and localized training in China means Beijing will be better equipped for potential invasions." Because what? Prepare war. Remember, China said that that's rightfully ours. You have that independence. Remember, this all because of America. It says the Chinese School of Airborne Landing is very young, he said, suggesting Moscow's assistance could help speed up China's airborne program by about 10 to 15 years. Russia's Kremlin and China and Taiwan's defense and foreign ministries did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The greatest value of the deal to China is likely in the training and procedures for command and control of parachute forces, because Russia has combat experience, whereas China doesn't. Right? Whatever the fuck is doing it. And Jack Watling. It said the analysts say Russia's aim is to develop as a military supplier to China and fund its war in Ukraine. Hold up. Oh yeah, the analysts say Russia's aim is to develop as a military supplier to China and fund its war with Ukraine. Because what? They're going to make money. They're going to be doing business, war games. Assemble yourselves, beat your plowshares and the swords. That's what remember the Lord said, what? The day of the Lord is upon all the heathen. This is the day where the Lord is having them all gathered for all this war stuff, so he could come in and smite their ass. Thus saith the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, for the day of the Lord is upon all the heathen. And he said what? In the valley of Jehoshaphat, there will I judge all the heathen around about, over there in the east. That's where all this is going on. And then the Lord is going to have all them other countries, including America's allies, shoot missiles over here. All those that bend the bow, spare no arrow, shoot at her. Babylon, the great. Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, which is America. Iran said what? We have things that can now strike the USA. China said what? We have anything that can strike anywhere at any time. Who do you think that threat is mainly to? Why do you think Trump talking about a golden dome in case of a catastrophic attack on American soil? They fucking know. They know what's up. That's why Hegseth calling that meeting. All the generals, all the admirals. You think that's what you think that's what the fuck? Excuse my language, but come on. Something is on the brink to pop off with all the nations. The Lord said what? He gonna gather and hold up, man. Fact, hold up. Because what we've been waiting for. There you go. Oh. So this is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 8. I'm going to read the King James and NLT. It says, therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day. So what is the Lord telling his men? Therefore, wait ye upon me. So that's what we've been doing. So as we've been prophesying, we've also been waiting. And your patience, ye shall possess your souls. That time is the time of judgment is coming. All right. Zephaniah 3:8 said, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations. Who are Russia, Esau, Moab, Ammon, Ham, Ishmael, Elam. All right. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Nuclear missiles, nuclear fire. And then on top of that, once that fire is established, then YAHAWASHI and the angels coming with fire. A devouring fire. Remember, the Lord said what? It should be a lake of fire. Babylon, mostly. But even in the land of Israel, that's going to be on fire. Everybody's going to be shooting nukes everywhere. It's going to be fires everywhere. That's why he said, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. It's just that America, that this land is going to be completely annihilated and never inhabited again. And it's going to be destroyed by fire. But it's going to be fires in other parts. Yeah, it's fires now. What's going to happen if China invades Taiwan? It's going to be fire set. If they shooting rockets at each other, if all these nations, shoot, Ukraine and Russia and Ukraine, they're shooting rockets, they're shooting at each other. The whole thing with the small hats, Palestine, Gaza, Yemen, America, they're shooting rockets and fires at each other. The fire. But then soon enough, it's going to be nuclear fire. That devouring fire, that fire is going to spread abroad and quickly. And it's not going to be put out until it serves its purpose. And that's going to be what? The purpose of the Lord's indignation. He just said it. It's all pointing to this. No other doctrine, no other so-called religion is explaining what's going on. No other nation, no other religion is talking about it's our God doing this. They're not praising their God for what's going on. All right? Excuse me. I'm going to read that in NLT. So this is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. And it reads, therefore, be patient. Be patient. We must continue to be patient, even in all these endeavors. Yeah, it's close. Shit is happening, but we still have to remain patient. We still have to wait on the Lord because everything is not finished yet. They still got to bring out the MOTB. We still got to have Jacob's trouble. You see the world right now, well, especially in America, you got Jake and Esau. They're like, it's getting there, but it's not there yet. Still a little ways to go, but it's close, and the Lord is doing it quickly. All right? So in Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8 in the NLT, it says, therefore be patient, says the Lord. Soon, he says, soon I will stand and accuse these evil nations, these heathens. You don't see no Jakes, no major Jake countries all talk about nukes and all that. Yeah, the whole thing going on in Venezuela, but that's their resources. But none of these, they don't have, it's not what the other nations have, what the other heathen have. It says, soon I will stand and accuse these evil nations, for I have decided to gather the kingdoms of the earth, and pour out my fiercest anger and fury on them. All the earth will be devoured by the fire of my jealousy. So the fire of jealousy is what? The Lord had the smith make these nukes, make these weapons, make these bombs, and then they're going to be used. These missiles weren't built to not be used. They were built because they knew they were going to be used. Because what? It's the Lord's purpose. It says his determination. Hold on, it says, so he says, for my determination, right? It's to gather the nations. So, let's see something real quick. So the determination says mishpat. Hold up. Let's see what that.
Strong's H 4941. Mishpat.
Yeah, mishpat.
Mishpat.
So it says mishpat, a masculine noun, and it says judgment, justice, ordinance, act of deciding a case, place, court, seat of judgment, process, procedure, litigation before judges, case, cause, presented for judgment, execution of judgment, time of judgment, justice, right, rectitude, attributes of God or man, ordinance, decision, right, privilege, due, legal, proper, fitting, measure, fitness, custom, manner, plan, so on and so forth. But you get the gist. Judgment. So the Lord's judgment is what? The fire. Hold up, man. Speaking of which, okay, here we go. It's that 1 Corinthians, no, 2 Corinthians, I think, 5 and 10, I think. So this is the book, remember, judgment. So remember, the Lord said what? Every eye shall see him. Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. So in the midst of all that, what's going to be happening is the Lord's judgment. So here it is, we got the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10, and it reads, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of YAHAWASHI, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. Now, leading up to the missiles, you got judgment taking place too. But ultimately, when these devils bring out the MOTB, the microseid, whoever gets that, the judgment is set for that fire. And that's why you must continue to always pray and hope for that strength in these trying times, man. Because these devils, you see what's happening over there in the UK. They got it's not the MOTB yet, but it's MOTB-ish, to where in the UK you need a digital ID to work. Now I seen something. It was alleged that it was saying that you need a digital ID to shop, but they said that wasn't true. But they said what was true is that you're gonna need a digital ID to work. So that's gonna be how you get your money anyway. So you might as well say you're not going to be able to shop, because how you going to be able to pay? That's the whole point of where he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. That's why all the digital ID, all of this cashless shit, all of it was going on in the midst of all this war stuff, because it's all simultaneously intertwining with each other. The judgment of the fire is going to be if you get the MOTB. So they have to be bringing the MOTB and preparing more for the war of the nukes. That's going to usher in that fire of the Lord's judgment for the nations. How else are the nations and the army going to get together and fight? In the NLT, it reads, 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10, it says, for we must all stand before YAHAWASHI to be judged. We will each receive whatever we deserve for the good or evil we have done in this earthly body. Now remember, the only people that's going to be delivered from their bad that they've done in these earthly bodies is the elect of Israel. The Israelite, the remnant of Jacob that are whose sins and iniquities have been forgiven through YAHAWASHI's blood. But everybody else, all these other nations, everybody else that's not covered by YAHAWASHI's blood, they're gonna receive the bad. They're gonna receive the fire. They're gonna receive Jacob's trouble. They're gonna receive the civil unrest. They're gonna receive all of that. Even when there's some men of the Lord that might have to be martyrs and be put to death, but it said what? The dead in YAHAWASHI shall rise first. If they're part of the elect, Esau can't change that. These other nations can't change that. No one can change the fact that if you're chosen, so that's from the beginning. The Lord said, I change if not. So the elect, that's why we talk about the elect of the Israelites. Those are going to be the ones who don't receive bad in their body, in these earthly bodies, because why? YAHAWASHI. That's why YAHAWASHI is so important. And all these nations, they know about YAHAWASHI. You don't think these other nations see? They know. They see the prophets. The prophets are out there in public, on the internet and out in public. I don't have much viewers. I don't have much people watching my joints, but people see it. And this truth is out there already, man. And it's only continue to get pushed and pushed to what? Esau shut it down. And that's going to be the Lord having Esau shut it down. Because ultimately, it's all the will of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Any more of that article? Oh, shit. So it says, while Beijing's military capabilities largely surpass Moscow's, the analyst says China has gaps which Russia can fill. Russia has a long history of airborne forces dating back decades. Know-how the authors say China needs. So what Russia has is what China needs. It says Song Zongping, a military commentator in Beijing, said China had superior equipment, but Russia has more combat experience. Because China hasn't really gone to war really crazy. So there you go. But they got the resource, they got the tools, and Russia has the experience. One hand watches the other, so to speak. It says Wen Ti-sung, an expert on China and Taiwan with the Atlantic Council, said parachuting and forces would probably support the logistics of any invasion, but would be unlikely to be the main event. Instead, China is playing the long game by acquiring Russian equipment, Sung said. That's because Beijing will find a way to reverse engineer the equipment and technology and develop it not just for airborne combat, but also for advanced intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, which are critical for modern warfare, he said. Because remember, China got the technology, and they got the brains with the technology. All them Chinese scientists, remember, if you see all of even in Esau's media, the movies and TV, when you got the scientists, they be a lot of Moabites. Just hell, look at Jurassic Park. Remember that the scientist, he was I think it was either Chinese or North Korean. Because they be knowing that shit. But at the end of the day, they're still heathens, and Yahawashi still gonna get them. See, when Yahawashi comes back, he's gonna show you how to stunt. He's gonna show you what modern warfare is. He's gonna show you what technology really is. Because at the end of the day, all the technology that all these heathen has, it can all be destroyed. But we're talking about an invincible being, Yahawashi, that was given to power from heaven, not from earth. Remember the Lord said, what? I shall not meet thee as a man. They're all men. Xi Jinping, Putin, Trump, they're all men and older men. But the Lord said, well, who is this young man that put up crowns on their head? So Yahawashi gonna come back looking young man, like a young man. It says, Russia agreed to provide training and equipment. It says, according to a document dated September 2024, which is a year ago, and an initial 2021 agreement detailed timelines for payments and delivery. So we're talking from 2021. It says stages 1 and 2, analysts of technical specifications, software, and this is all doing the C-19 EMIC. Software modifications and equipment manufacturing have been completed according to that document. Russia also agreed to provide training in China and a complete set of equipment for an airborne battle lion, including the ability to carry out infiltration by special forces, the analyst says. That includes the sale of 37 light amphibious assault vehicles, 11 amphibious anti-tank self-propelled guns, and 11 airborne armored personnel carriers, as well as command and observation vehicles. The total cost is listed as more than $210 million. Beijing wants all the vehicles to be equipped with Chinese communication systems and to be prepared to use Chinese ammunition, the documents show. So this is a deal from 2021. So we're not talking about something that we're going to do this. They decided this yesterday. And in the midst of what was happening during 2021 up until 2024, everybody was locked down. So while everybody was locked down, the nation was still preparing for war. They were still making these moves. Well, America was like, I don't know if China was like locked down like America was in OJ, but I know there was a lot of things of shit was locked down. It says Russia agreed to sell China systems which are designed for parachuting up to 190 kilograms, which is 419 pounds from an extremely high altitude, the RUSI analyst said. And you know them mobiles don't get that heavy. It said the document references the minutes of a meeting from March 8th, 2024 in Moscow where Russia agreed to provide China by the end of 2024 with details of how the system known as Dalnolat performed under colder temperature conditions down to negative 60 degrees Celsius and negative 76 degrees Fahrenheit. You see that? This is Russia and China, so they've been buddy-buddy for a long time now. And remember, this is all during the time where this information wasn't being shared. It said 2021. 2025 is about to be over. It says, according to the documents, Beijing requested testing the parachute system for drops from 8,000 meters, which is 26,250 feet. That height would allow Chinese forces to glide for up to 80 kilometers, 50 miles, allowing Chinese special group forces to penetrate the territory of other countries without being noticed. The RUSI report said, without being noticed, stealth. So that means they'll go into Taiwan, Taiwan right there, and they won't even be noticed. And by the time they are noticed, what's going to happen? They already got the air shit. So they're going in. That's an invasion. Remember, this is all calculated. This is all what? This is the will of YAHAWASHI, putting in the minds of the kings that, yeah, we're going to do this at this time. That's why the Lord said, wait ye upon me till I rise up to the prey. He's rising up to the prey now, getting all these nations ready for war, civil unrest within the nations. The people not regarding their kings nor their princes. You got civil unrest in Israel. You got civil unrest in America. You had civil unrest in other parts of Europe. Civil unrest. So it's civil unrest. The people are not fucking with their leaders. Because why? The leaders are all game for war. But who's rejoicing in this? The followers of YAHAWASHI. You don't see nobody else rejoicing. No other nation is rejoicing except for what? The true worshipers of YAHAWASHI, who are Israelites. The Hebrew Israelites. And most importantly, the Hebrew Israelites that preach Yahawashai, which come from GMS. That preach Yahawashai, because what? Yahawashai is the spirit of prophecy. These are all prophecies coming to pass that are in the scriptures. Period. And that's the way the cookie shall crumble. Matter of fact, man, I might as well get that real quick. We get to end it off with that half hour. I don't want to make this too long. So yeah, everybody should prepare for the judgment sheet for Yahawashai. So this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9, and it reads, I'm reading the NLT. It says, say to the nations, far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. What do you think? That's what China's doing. That's what Russia's doing. That's what America's doing. That's what Iran is doing. North Korea, South Korea, the Philippines, Japan, Europe, NATO, EU, Africa, everybody, all the nations. He says, say all to all the nations. You got Russia, got the whole thing going on with Africa, sending them stuff with China. The Iranians, they got the pact with North Korea. Remember the North Koreans helped the Russians fight against the Ukrainians? Let's not forget that. These devils about to bring out the MOTB, which is what we're really waiting for, because that's going to be the tell sign that how things are going to just speed by. Because once they cause all people to have to get a microchip in their body, it's a wrap. This kingdom is over. I'm going to read verse 11 too. It says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen. So all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. And read that in NLT, it says, come quickly, all you nations everywhere. And that's what's happening. Gather together in the valley. And now, O Lord, call out your warriors. Call out your warriors. Hey, who you think is going to be the ones parachuting? They're warriors. They're soldiers. They're military. Who the Hegseth call their top military generals? That's doing their thing throughout wherever they are in the earth. Everybody going to come for this meeting. Assemble yourselves. Get ready. Prepare for war. And it's just getting more intensified. That's all. It already started. But that's pretty much it though. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to give all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom.